This is the Impulsive Thinker Podcast, a show for high-achieving ADHD entrepreneurs. Together, we will inform and educate you about how to improve your self-awareness while developing systems, routines, and habits for conquering the entrepreneurial world. Here is your host, André Brisson.
Hello and welcome to another Impulsive Thinker Short. Today is something I've been thinking about over the weekend. Well, actually, it's not what I was thinking about over the weekend, is what occurred over the weekend. Last Wednesday, I decided to take a full day to work and do more development work on the Impulsive Thinker podcast. It turned out to be a huge hyper-focused day. I was able to sit down and just hyper-focus and concentrate on that and ignore a lot of the stuff around me. And man, I got a lot done. At the end of that day, I felt great and I felt happy. The imposter syndrome was less, almost non-existent, and I was on a high. I felt really good about myself. I was feeling really good about this project and how we're going to move forward on this. I was very happy. You know, in the ADHD brain, there's only one reason for that. The dopamine was high, my brain was receiving it. Probably I was getting excess dopamine than what is a neurotypical brain would normally take, but I had an excess of dopamine, gave me a high, and my confidence was great. I felt good because I was working in my unique ability, and you're going to hear me talk about my unique ability a lot, and that's the unique ability are tasks and stuff that you work on, that you are known for, that what you're great at, and what you have a passion for. An excellent ability is something you're really known for, you're great at, but you got no passion for. So the unique ability for me, man, this was huge. I was able to sit down and create and to think based on what I've learned, and I learned a lot more during that day because I needed to get a bunch of details out and to clarify certain things. So I felt good because I was working in my unique ability and being creative to achieving the launch of this podcast. And woke up the next morning. I wasn't feeling as great, but I was still feeling good, which I was a little surprised because typically I'm not, but I felt good. I worked on other stuff, and I dealt with engineering clients, and here and there. I worked on the podcast a little bit, but by the end of Thursday, by the time I was going to bed, I was starting to doubt myself, and I never thought anything about it. And, you know, now I'm talking about it, it's because I'm used to that. Negative self-talk is such a routine that I just didn't even think about it. But anyways, Friday came along, more doubt start to build in. And as Friday progressed, that imposter syndrome feeling and that imposter syndrome voice in the back of my head started to talk to me. And as the day went on, started talking louder and louder. I never thought anything about it, ignore it. Try to remember what I just did on Wednesday, or go through my notes, or go through the emails of people sharing how good of an idea and this was going to be. So the weekend occurred, thought nothing of it still. So that negative self-talk was still there, still going, but I don't even realize that anymore. Or I did not. Nick, I don't realize when that negative self-talk is happening. It's such a habit. It's such a normal thing that's occurred for me over the last 40-some years that you just don't think about it. I got to be more cognizant about it, and try to nip that in the bud as it starts. But anyways, weekend came about. The end of the weekend, it was pretty strong. Why am I wasting my time? André, you are setting yourself for another major disappointment. Why are you bothering with this? No one wants to listen. That's what's talking to me. That's me talking to myself, saying this to me. Unbelievable. Right? Well, now I think about it's unbelievable, but again, not much about it. I started to be a little aware. I said, man, Wednesday I had such high hopes, and why? Why am I talking to myself about it? But I kind of fell in the trap of, that's the usual talk, so I will. By the end of Monday, I was starting to talk myself out of this. Monday morning, actually, I started realizing I was talking myself out of doing this podcast, and what am I going to do? And then by lunchtime, I said, whoa, enough. Monday, I had to actively talk myself out of this and keep this as a good idea, and it'll work, right? I could not understand that. So anyways, I did. But today I had another focus session on the podcast. And you know what? Immediately after I started, all that self-doubt and all those 5 days of negative talk to me just disappeared, gone. Gone. Why? Why is that? Unbelievable. Well, I think one thing was the dopamine overload came back, sparked my brain. I got more energy and my confidence came back because I do truly believe in this. And I got to talk myself into this. This really came to realization with a good email chat I had with a good friend of mine, Julia Waller, who is the unique ability guru. But I realized that for me to get back into self-confidence, I need to get back into my unique ability. And you know what? And this really caught my attention is because this is the high achieving ADHD entrepreneur's roller coaster. We feel great. We feel down. We feel great. We feel down. There's not a lot of in between. And our challenge is maintaining that pride and confidence and try to keep it up there. And when we go down, it's a cognitive effort to feel that self-confidence, to maintain that pride. Because a lot of that has to do with our dopamine levels are low. Our brain's not receiving it as it should. So it's just gone. And our interest is low. And then our negative self-talk habit comes back into play. So for me, the observation is this. Dopamine loss or low levels of dopamine also equals low pride and self-confidence, right? From that, I started to realize, so every time I work in my unique ability and I'm working on stuff that's really interesting and enjoy, and especially with this, I got a passion for this, passion for helping high-achieving entrepreneurs, ADHD entrepreneurs. This raises my energy level. The dopamine receptors kick up, or not the receptors kick up. Dopamine gets flooded in the brain so that our low working receptors can pick up that dopamine. So that means our energy increases, our self-confidence increases, and our pride rises. So if my takeaway from all this is, for me, striving to work in my unique ability regularly and frequently is key to maintaining self-confidence without having to cognitively work at it. So for me, what I get out of this is what I got to do. I really got to protect my time. Again, something that Julia really explained to me and is helping me work on this is I got to protect my time and stay within my unique ability. Give certain jobs to people. The jobs or tasks I don't enjoy or projects, give it to someone else who is good at it. Therefore, less frustration on my part. I can work more on my unique ability. I can build my passion. I can develop, create new things for anyone. And I enjoy that. And that brings me a lot of energy. Therefore, it'll bring me a lot of self-confidence and energy and pride. So I challenge you is, what tasks do you not enjoy? Are you able to get rid of those tasks or projects? The ones that frustrate you and you're not confident at. You're just not good, but you can get it done. And what are the jobs, tasks, and projects that you truly enjoy working on and you got a passion and you can do it all day of the week, every day of the week? How can you structure your company and your team around that so you can continually work in your unique ability and you can hand off all those? So takeaway, and this is an observation on my part, is that we need to keep working on the stuff that gives us energy for us to maintain our self-confidence without cognitive effort. And that's a roller coaster for ADHD entrepreneurs. Is we feel great, we feel down. We feel great, we feel down. But I think for us to maintain that balance, we got to maintain it on the higher end. But we can do that by continually working our unique ability and do the stuff that we really enjoy and love to do and we got a passion for. That's my challenge to you. Identify what you are great at and what you have a passion for. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you for listening to the Impulsive Thinker podcast. If you have a question, comment, or suggestion for the show, please visit theimpulsivethinker.com. The Impulsive Thinker podcast is produced by Tactical Breakthroughs and hosted by André Brisson. Remember, ADHD is only a part of you, not all of you.